I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and we're talking with interior designer Lorraine Vale. How you doing, Lorraine?
I'm great, Tim. Thank you for asking.
Well, thanks for taking the time to show us your latest project. This is a commercial project. We've given a lot of coverage to Lorraine Vale for residential projects, but we wanted to talk to you about this commercial project because it's a little bit off the beaten path as far as you typically doing residential projects. You do both residential and commercial. Which do you do more of?
Residential for sure, yeah. Commercial, this particular commercial space came to me by way of my work with the owner of this company at his home for himself and his wife.
Gotcha. Now, this is a steel fabrication plant or factory here in the Goose Creek area. Tell me about the scope of the project that you were involved with.
This was a very small company to begin with, although the building was very beautifully designed. I have to say it was architecturally designed, and but it was owned by it was family owned, and a lot of family still is employed here, and they were in their retirement stages, and a company came in, purchased it, and showed me the reception area that had been it's about 10 or 11 years old, this building, and the reception area really was just a walkthrough at the time. And the new owner of the company came to me and said he wanted people to walk into this space. He wanted them to be impressed. He wanted it to be world class, and he wanted them to get a gist of what it is they do here. So with all of that, when I walked into this space, I mean, it's a very small floor square footage wise, but it's got lots of volume, and so and two glass walls, so it reads large, and I wanted to make broad and bold statements in here.
And the owner, why did the owner want to redo the reception area?
To make that first impression. He said first impressions are everything, and when potential clients are here for meetings, he wanted them to be impressed with the style and the technology of the reception area.
And the type of customers that come here, you're not talking about people off the street. We're talking about executives from companies from around the world, billion-dollar companies in the aerospace, defense, and power generation fields, medical, and so these folks are flying in from all over the world, literally, and so the owner really wanted to make the impression. That first impression was very important.
Very important, and you know, because they are from around the world, they're global businesses. They go to these other areas of the world, visit these manufacturers, and are impressed by their buildings. And so I think he wants to be in that league and have them know that right off the bat.
Well, tell us about the reception area, because you can't help but notice all of these different parts that we're seeing. Aluminum or stainless steel?
A combination. We have aluminum running through the floor. There are aluminum rods that separate large format porcelain tile. We have aluminum in the base of the chairs, also all the furniture actually. Aluminum standoffs lifting up the granite here, and also the aluminum standoffs that project the artwork a few inches off of their substrates.
Right, and when you refer to a standoff, you're referring to these metal pieces that sort of
metal pieces, which could actually be from the plant behind us, but are not.
Right, and so clearly the space reflects the fact that this is a metal fabrication plant, and Lorraine, you have a background in metal fabrication, is that right?
I have a background. I spent the first 20 years of my career in metals, and I was in a metal shop. I was a jewelry maker. I fabricated large bowls and vessels out of metal, so I had that in my background for, I majored in it at Rhode Island School of Design, so it was all in my background. And then when Mr. Deering asked me to do the reception area here, I felt very comfortable, and I really wanted to interject the feeling of turned or extruded or manufactured fabricated metals in the reception area.
Gotcha. Well, let's kind of dissect this reception area. You mentioned the flooring before. These are 2 foot by 2 foot tiles, but with the aluminum bars in here, they look like gigantic tiles.
Yeah. They read as 4x4s. That was the intent. It's a brand new porcelain tile that Phyllis at Melser Tile had shown to me as soon as I walked in there. I told her about the space, and she said, "You've got to see this brand new tile that came in just days prior." When I showed the owner his design boards and I put this all together, he just thought this was, what was the word he used? Handsome or grand, or the description was that he really loved the tile itself. And then when I showed him about the bars, he's an engineer by trade, and so they tend to be more two-dimensional. So when I showed him the bars and how this was all going to work together, he just had to trust me, which he did, which I was really pleased with, because I finally was able to do a space where I was given full creative ability to do what it is I thought needed to be done in here.
And speaking of that creative, right behind you is the, what would you call this, the reception desk?
Yes, the reception desk. Prior to pulling the desk out here, this space had a cutout in a wall, and it had the granite ledge, which you would normally see in these kind of areas, and the reception is set behind the wall. It was actually Mr. Deering's idea to pull reception out here and to do a custom desk in a semicircular fashion like this. So with my concept in mind and what it was I wanted to have done here, I actually chose the glossy laminate that would be white, and then with the stainless steel laminate interjecting across a grid and the baseboard to pick up on the grid that I've formed on the floor.
And the reception desk, this is something that you designed yourself?
Yes.
And it was manufactured right here in Charleston?
It was Low Country Mill and Casework. That they are located, I believe the town is Somerville, right down the road.
Very impressive.
They're a joy to work with. They're so professional, and they get it done. And they get it. They understand it.
And then we've got these massive photo renderings or photographs. And tell us about these. Those
are actual pieces of metal parts that they manufacture here, and it's macro photography on parts that are no bigger than 5 by 5. So they're very small parts, and close-ups were taken of these pieces, and then we sent off the digital copies to a company out on the West Coast in Seattle, and they blew them up to 10-foot by 4-foot panels and set them behind plexiglass.
Interesting. And then
then they flew them out here.
And then we've got the very modern looking lighting up here. I believe you said that you got this from Charleston Lighting?
Charleston Lighting, and it's simply track in an oblong shape, and the high-tech light heads that I selected are able to move in any direction to highlight any area that I wanted it to.
Anything else you want to mention about the project?
Well, what I love, besides these giant photographs, is I think I'm most impressed with the, beside the photograph, the flooring and how it travels through the glass wall here out into the hallway, so it almost looks like it never stops, which it doesn't until it gets to a doorway. And I love the way it travels under that window wall. And also, and this was a happy accident, I didn't really think about it, but at certain angles there is black glass in also large panels on the outside of the building. So this also looks like it travels outside, which I really like the way the inside comes in the outside, and you know, the floor goes to another area of the building. I just, you know, think I'm really proud of the way this place came out.
Was it a challenge for you as a designer who works mostly in residential interior design to take on a commercial project like this?
It's a lot simpler, a lot less smaller, a lot less details. I mean, there's a lot of detail, but it's less of it. You just have to work in broader strokes and make a bigger statement about your space, I think. And so this is very simple. I mean, it's just a few pieces of furniture, new flooring, we painted, we got a desk and some artwork. And so if you break it down like that, there are few elements in here, but I think altogether it makes a big impact on the space. And for me to go from residential to commercial, I don't know, it just came really easy to me.
Yeah, as when you break it down like that, it doesn't sound like much, but as a package, the entire space is very, very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah.
How long did the project take from start to finish?
Not 2 weeks. I started in beginning of June, and we did our installation of the artwork 2 weeks ago. So all in all, that's what, 4 months?
The client wanted it in 2 weeks.
Client wanted it in 2 weeks. It took us 4 months, which I think is pretty impressive anyway, you know, 4 months.
And what does the client say about the space? Was he pleased?
Yes, he was. He thinks it's magnificent. He's very pleased. He's a little reserved, so when he cracked that little smile, I knew I had satisfied his all of his goals. Yeah.
And did it match what he had envisioned the space to be?
I never asked him that. I don't know, but I you know, when I showed him everything we were doing in here, he was on board with everything. So whether or not he was able to process the concept, I'm not sure, but like I said, he put a lot of faith in me and trust, and I've done his house, so he knew, you know, I was capable.
And I thought that was interesting what you said, that the client had to take that leap of faith and ultimately put trust in your vision. And I think that's a big thing, whether you're working with a residential client or a commercial client. If you trust the interior designer or the architect, you'll no doubt be pleased.
Absolutely. The results are always going to be full of confidence, and if the designer architect listens to you properly and can process everything you've told him or her, then the result is going to be pleasing, and it's going to be done with confidence, and you'll have exactly what it is you wanted in the first place.
Anything you'd like to add?
Let's see. Yes, I would really like to do the conference room. Don't put that in there.
Okay. Well, we've been speaking with Lorraine Vale with House Interiors, and give everybody your contact information.
I am located on Daniel Island. House Interiors, we have a full showroom and offices at 130 River Landing Drive, Suite 12C. Our telephone number is 843-216-2002. We have a website, www.houseint.com, and Facebook page. So you can find us on Facebook and through our website, actually, and email contact through our website. We have great photos. This is actually not up yet. It's that new, so we will be putting this up on our website soon with before pictures, which are amazing.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Lorraine.
Okay, you're welcome, Tim. Thank you.